Are you thinking about buying your next home in Charleston but not exactly sure where to start? Give me just a few minutes and I'll show you how to narrow down what you're looking for in a home. If you'd like a copy of my buyer's guide, comment buyer below and I'll send it over. Hey, I'm Stella Tootin and I'm your guide to life in Charleston. When I first moved to Charleston around 20 years ago, the internet was barely a thing. And so figuring out where to live, much less what to do here, was hard. It was a lot of trial and error. And now that I've lived here and sold real estate here for so many years, I can give you an insider perspective into what it's like to live here. So you don't have to do that trial and error thing yourself. So stick around. Let's dive into how to figure out what you want in a house. Lots of times my clients know exactly what they want in a house. They need 3 bedrooms and an office, no HOA, a large kitchen, generous entertaining spaces. They want it in Mount Pleasant, and they want it zoned for Mount Pleasant Academy. Okay, great. I know exactly what to look for these clients. But occasionally, I do have people who do not know where to start. They come to me and say, I want a house. And I'll say, how many bedrooms? And they'll say, I don't know. At least one. And I'll say, well, do you want the house updated or are you willing to do it yourself? I'm not sure. Okay, what about an HOA? How do you feel about an HOA? I'm cool. Do you know what area of town you want to live in? No, I'm open. Anywhere's good. I can be wherever. Listen, when I first started selling, I thought this was an ideal situation. It sounded like the world was wide open for these people. We just had to find anything in their price point and they would be happy. But the truth is that it's just a situation like this just makes buyers frustrated and it wastes their time. Because here's the thing, at the end of the day, we all know what we would prefer. Have you ever experienced that feeling when someone says to you, hey, Sally, do you want some ice cream? I have vanilla and I have chocolate. Which one do you want? And you say, sure, I'll have either. Because you really do think you'd like to have either. And they hand you a scoop of chocolate and you're like, man, I wish they'd given me vanilla ice cream. Maybe you were just saying that you'd be happy with either because you're trying to be easygoing, or maybe you really did think that you'd be okay with either one of them. But if you'd really sat down and thought about it, you probably would have spoken up because you clearly wanted vanilla ice cream. I know that's a little simplistic, but that's what you need to do when you're thinking about buying a house. I know it can seem like you're trying to be easy to work with, but if you don't tell your agent what you would want, if you tell them that you're happy with anything, you're doing yourself a disservice. You're going to get annoyed when she starts showing you condos when what you really wanted was a house with a yard. It's like, why can't she just read my mind? So, before you talk to your agent, think about your life. Think about how you want to live in your house. Create a list of everything you would desire in it. Bedroom count, bathroom count. Do you work from home? Are you a chef? Do you like putting your own mark on a house? Is the commute important? Does the idea of having a pool in the backyard make you sweat? Is that in a good or a bad way? What about school zoning? Maybe you care about the HOA payment or even having an upstairs laundry room. What if you want a downstairs master bedroom or a separate hangout space for your kids? Heck, what if being in a flood zone freaks you out and is a no-go? Just make the list. After you've made that list, now you have to break it down even more into needs and wants. Think about it like this. A need is something that you have to have. Like if I don't have this, we might as well not move. That's a need. A want is something that's on your wish list, but it doesn't have to happen. And listen, don't let someone tell you your need should be a want. For me, I have 3 kids and I work a lot and I don't have a maid. I need 3 bedrooms for them. I also need walls and doors. I do not want open concept because I need to be able to hide the clutter away from visitors by shutting the door. I had a friend that told me, Stella, that's a want. That's not a need. Well, Susie, I beg to differ. You haven't lived with these children. So don't let anybody tell you what goes on each list. That's for you to decide. Then you need to prioritize that needs list. If you absolutely have to live within 2 miles of the airport or you just might die, but you're okay with 3 bedrooms and not 4 at the end of the day, then location goes to the top of the list. If your kids go to Bell Hall Elementary and you absolutely want to keep them there, but you also want to live somewhere without an HOA, move that elementary school to the top of the list and bump the HOA thing down. The key is to try to get your vision as clear as you can. Once you've gotten that nailed down, then you and I can sit down and put together a search and find houses that fit those needs. As we search, I'm going to need you to be a little bit open to some of those things you think are needs. Sometimes you may adjust those. And once you realize that you're okay with adjusting them, that's when you realize it was actually a want. It can be hard for a home to check every single box you have on your list. For example, now that you have identified that being at Bell Hall Elementary is the most important item on your list, you may have to let go of the idea of living without an HOA. There may not be any neighborhoods zoned for Bell Hall that don't have one. I'm really sorry, Bob, but you're going to have to bring your trash can back into the garage the same day as trash pickup. But you may find that one of the things on your want list that was an option is something you can find, and that can balance things out a little bit. That gourmet kitchen is within your reach. Start your search by finding your biggest priorities and let it lead you from there. I hope that was helpful. If you'd like more insights on what to look for when buying a home in Charleston, comment buyer below, and I'll send you my buyer's guide. Stay in touch.